Hey guys, it's Lori here for a WIP Chat. I am working on Off to the Ball by Hannah Lynn from Diamond Art Club. This is for the Hannah Lynn-thon. I want to say the Hannah Lynn-a-thon. Hannah-thon. And it is also for the DP Pink for BCA, breast cancer awareness, because there's lots of pink in this. She has a pink carriage. I'm using my Painting with Diamonds tray, hot pink tray, and I got a new pen. And I saw this on Amazon and wanted to try ordering one from there and see what the quality was. And I just fell in love with the color. It's perfect with my tray. $5.99. I'll link it below in case you want one for October or whenever. Hot pink is one of my favorite colors. You may also see me pop this one in. This is my Bourbon Street from Diamond Pens with a Z. So I'm using a 10 placer and a 4 placer, which this 4 placer is looking kind of raggedy, but it works. I still have not put my metal tips on. I don't do change really well, so they'll get on there. I do have quite a large section because when I went to stop, I didn't want to do the small little section. I wanted to do this whole big one this time, so that's what I'm working. Oh, and my containers are my Harbor Freight containers, and I am working with color 519, which is the S's, but I'm almost done with that. But anyway, all right, that's all the stats, I guess. What would you call it? Normally, you get a WIP Chat Quickie from me. That is usually under 15 minutes, thanks to my internet. But I am going to my sister's, and they have yummy city internet. It is fabulous. Not this country out with the cows internet that drives me insane, but yes. So I'm going to film this before I go and upload it as soon as I get there. So y'all will get to hear from me a little bit. I'm always jealous when everybody gets to do the 30-minute WIP Chats. I don't know if I could pull off an hour WIP Chat. I think wasn't there a challenge, I think. And they challenged you to do 1 hour. I think that was Miss Coffee, actually. Yeah. I tried to film that, and I was going to upload it into a couple parts. I don't think I ever managed to get it to upload. I did manage to talk that long. I'm not sure it was real good. You probably didn't miss anything. But yeah, that's hard. WIP Chats are hard for me anyway because I tend to go all over the place whenever I talk in any way. I'm easily distracted, definitely by sparkly things. I get very excited. Oh, also, you're probably going to hear the dogs, Poppy and Toby. I do have the door open to where they can go in and out, so they shouldn't bother me with that. You may hear a ceiling fan because I have turned off my air conditioning. It's very, very nice here today. And you're probably going to hear crows. I think you probably already heard those. They come and visit and enjoy the sunshine too. So the door is open and I'm sitting next to it. You may also hear my fan. I think I might have mentioned that. See, that's why I'm bad at WIP Chats. I don't even remember if I told you that part. Did I? One of those moments. Did I think that or did I actually say that? Today I had to get up, and we get up every morning at 7 a.m. get the girls ready, and normally we would have to get up at 6 a.m. if they wanted to ride the bus from our home. Gross. I hate the hour of 6 a.m. It's the worst. But I decided this year I was going to take them just to cut down on the chances of exposure since we're going back to school. They wear masks on the bus, but still. I figured if I took them, not only would I not have to get up at 6 a.m. and get to sleep till 7, that would be that many little people they were not exposed to so close. So I take them every morning. We pick up our neighbor, Brittany. She lives at the end of the road, and I figure, hey, I'm going that way. Why not? I'm going to stick my tray to the thing. Ugh. Anyway, and so this morning I had to be sure they were out the door on time, and because Daniela had an orthodontist appointment. And her orthodontist, this is one thing I'm curious about. For those of you who either have braces or have children in braces, how often do they go to get like tightened or whatever? Because if I remember, when I was younger, I went every month. And Daniela's has her go every 2 months. Well, with COVID in 2020, I refused to have her go and sit, under right in somebody's face. So we are a little bit behind on hers anyway. Plus, we're a little bit behind because they waited too late to remove teeth that they actually knew they were going to have to remove, but thought they would try it without removing them. I don't know why I didn't say something earlier. I don't know. You just kind of trust them to know what they're doing. But so she's had them on 3 years. So she's a year over. And so I don't know. Hopefully the holes are almost closed, and I'm hoping from where they removed the teeth. So hopefully they will, I was looking to see, there's a weird bird clicking at the dogs. But I was hoping that, I don't even remember, I don't even remember what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something, guys. Anyway, I'm hoping she gets them off soon. But I knew going in that they were going to get her for probably the teeth brushing, because getting her to brush is like pulling teeth. teeth. So I was kind of hoping they would get her. Well, they have us sit in the car when you drive up, and they send you text messages asking if anybody's been exposed, yada, yada, yada. Finally, they'll let the patient come in, and you sit in your car. Well, then I get a message after she's went in just for a few that they need me to come in. And I thought, oh no. I know they're not telling me that to say, hey, come in, we're, and going to be saying we're going to take them off or anything like that. So I figured, oh, great. So I go in, and her orthodontist is sitting there, and this lady, she's wound a little tight, let's just say. And she is one of those people, very type A. And while at times you appreciate her thoroughness, there are times where she oversteps in some of the things she says. And when I saw her sitting there, I thought, oh no, because we had a bad experience with Michaela. Michaela had her braces on a year before Daniela and got them off. And when, we just had a bad experience. This dentist was not happy that I did not come during the initial COVID when they returned, I guess. I did not return for a few more months. And, I'm not going to apologize for that. That's a choice we made. Anyway, so she says, she's like, I want you to see this. And so I go over and she shows me where Daniela has some inflamed gums in the front. It looked ouchy. And she said she is not brushing this well. And I said, okay. And, you know, Daniela is going to be 16 in January. So, I mean, you're going to have to brush your teeth. And how many, you know, I guess I could hold her down and brush them for her, but that would be a little weird. But, you know, it's not from lack of mom saying brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, because I'm sick of saying brush your teeth. There's too many teeth for me to keep up with. Like, so then she says, and I had to remove, she had a loose something or another, the thing that goes around the back that circles the tooth and holds. She said, and I'm just going to I just removed that. Look at this. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my, you know, that looks ouchy, you know, inflamed. Happens to the best of us sometimes, especially if you eat Doritos and they get you occasionally. Or Captain Crunch cereal. Oh, that's so hard on the roof of your mouth if that hits the roof. Anyway, so, you know, Daniela's just sitting there taking everything like a champ kind of, and I thought, you know, get her, because she needs to brush her teeth. So, you know, she's pretty rough, and she's, you know, telling her, and Danielle's like, okay, you know, okay, and I'm sure it's going in one ear and out the other. Let's just hurry and get this kid's teeth fixed so we can get these off, yada yada. And you know, and so then she tells her, you know, this has to hurt, and Danielle says no. And she said the swollen gums in the back. No, she said I didn't notice it. Which the orthodontist had told me. She says she didn't even notice it, but it had to hurt. Danielle said no, it didn't hurt. Daniela said the front one hurt. I could feel that. She said, but the back one I didn't know was like that. And the dentist or the orthodontist was like, there's no way that you didn't feel that. And basically calling Daniela a liar. You know, she kept on, and it was essential, you know, that you're without saying you're lying, told Danielle she was lying. Danielle stood, you know, strong. She's not a liar, Danielle. So then she's like, how often do you brush your teeth? Do you brush your teeth every day? And Daniela, again, very honest kid. No, she said, I brush my teeth. She says, sometimes I don't. She's like, not at all during the day? She's like, no. She said, I brush my teeth almost every day, but sometimes on the weekends, I forget and I don't brush my teeth. And she's like, what? The whole weekend? Danielle says, sometimes, you know, and again, not from lack of mom saying brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. And she says, every human being needs to brush their teeth twice a day. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I do not brush my teeth twice a day. Do you? Sometimes, but not every day. Probably once a day more often than not. And granted, it is a good idea, but it doesn't always happen. And Daniela says, okay. And she's like, a human being needs, like Danielle's, she's reduced her to human being. And, I just, I thought, and at this point I was like, still okay, but I thought the way she put the human being thing was a little odd sounding. The way she made it sound, she comes off condescending. And so then she goes on and on and on, and I'm very uncomfortable. And I mean, And I thought, well, at the very least, maybe this will scare Daniela into brushing her teeth. And, you know, afraid she's going to do this again whenever we come back. So, you know, give her, you know, a good scolding. The problem was she went on and talking about how it looked awful. And it is an open office where all the hygienists are working on other patients lined up. There's like 5 chairs. The parents are in a chair, kind of positioned in front of their child, if it's not an adult in the chair. And so everyone is hearing this. It was humiliating. At this point, I felt like I needed to tuck my tail, as they would say. And and then she's like, when was your last dentist appointment? And I was so like flustered. I was like, I was looking for that and I couldn't find when exactly it was. So I just put spring. And she said, look it up. I want to see when they went to the dentist. And I was like, oh my gosh. And granted, I was like really comfortable with the fact that whatever she found was going to be okay because we keep up with our dentist appointments. And Daniela had a good dentist appointment, no cavities. Ha ha. So anyway, she's like, February. It says February here. Is this when it was? I was like, no. I said it was after that. It may have been even June or July, even. I said, and so the dentist looks at Daniela and says, "Do you remember when it was? You go all the way to Columbus for your dentist." She said, "You all get an award for driving the farthest for a dentist." And I was like, "What?" And I said, "Well, we started out going there because one, they took their insurance. 2, my kids were really afraid of the dentist, and so they do the gas for dental procedures. And so we had to go there for a dental procedure. And so we just kept going there because we like to go shopping in Easton." And I was like, "Well, I told the orthodontist, I said, well, I've told you before that we make a day of it. We go and we go eat and go shopping in Easton. It gives us a good excuse." She said, "Well, I'd much rather go shopping in Easton without going to the dentist." Well, yeah, us too. We do that too sometimes. Occasionally, not very often. And I said, it gives us an excuse to go and, and it keeps them with the dentist that they've seen. She said, I said, I will call the dentist myself and you do not have to. So I call and they're out. So then I'm like, wait a minute. The last time we went, we took pictures at Easton. I remembered because there was these beautiful telephone booths with flowers, like the red telephone booth. So I looked that up. Turns out it was August 10th. Oh my goodness. And so I'm like, it was August 10th when we went. And she looked at Daniela and she said, the orthodontist said, "Did you not remember that you went to the dentist in August?" And Danielle's like, "No." She said, "I wasn't sure when it was." She said, "I remember going." She said, "Well, don't you remember when you get in a car? Don't you know where you're going? Don't you know when you went to drive 2 hours? And when are you going to drive? How old are you? Do you have your driver's license? Well, you need to start looking out the window, and when you do, you'll know where you're going, and you need to start paying attention." I was like, "Say what?" So she turns around and just walks out, and the hygienist finishes up, gives us our slip, tells us to have a nice day, and we leave that office like two little dogs that have been scolded. Daniela has struggled, and she was trying to keep good spirits. And so I was like, well, she's right. You do need to brush your teeth more. And Daniela's like, I know. She said, but Mom, I really couldn't feel that in the back. And I said, I know. I said, you would have told her. You told her you felt the front one. I guess I'm just going to have to start holding you down, look in your mouth before you come. Well, she said, I said, listen, I want you to leave those rubber bands on there. Make sure you religiously wear those rubber bands, and hopefully it will close those holes, because as soon as that closes those holes, we are out of here. I will never recommend this office to anyone. I would be horrified to recommend this to one of my friends and them do their job that way. And, I'm not saying they didn't need to get on to her for her brushing, but making someone feel so little. And it made me want to leave Daniela in the car and go back in and say, do you know what our family has been through? Do you know what this child has suffered through? Do you know what she has been through for the last 2 years while having these braces on? No, and I'm not talking just COVID. I'm talking this child has dealt with severe depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts. We have, at some points, felt like the best thing we did today was keep this child alive and from harming herself. And I will tell you this right now, mamas, check up on your kids. I had no idea that there was self-harm going on in my house. Just saying. Check up on them. Don't believe everything they say. If you think they're feeling blue, check up on it. Be diligent. But that's not, it was everything I had. Took everything I had not to go back in there and explain to this lady how we have been doing so well. Just had a wonderful appointment. Things are going so good. And how she could have possibly triggered that not to go. But I think it upset me more than it did Daniela. And Daniela just said, she's crazy. And I said, I just think she wants things so perfect that she doesn't know how to handle things she cannot control and everyone do everything perfectly too. I mean, this woman, you can see it. It must be awful working for her. I can't even imagine. But I will say that I gave her the chance, my quietness this time. But she won't get it next time. She will not do us that way. And I'm just really blessed that Daniela did not get more upset over it. I called my husband. We had to go run to Walmart. I called my husband and cried in the middle of Walmart, away from Daniela. And I mean, it was bad. It was bad. So I'm interested to hear Daniela tell this to either her dad or her sisters. And that's when you can tell when something, you know, how something affected her, is when she retells it to somebody and you can, you know. So, but that's why I don't know. It still kind of, I feel like this pit in my stomach. And why should you feel that over your orthodontist? But I'm glad I held my tongue. I'm not real bad not to hold my tongue, so sometimes I hold my tongue too much. Some of you are probably saying right now, there's no way that you could have not said something. And I understand that too. My thought process was, we're almost out of there. And I don't want to make it uncomfortable. I also want her to do a good job with Daniela's teeth. So, yeah. Yuck. So, let me ask you this. Has this ever happened to you? With a doctor? Or have they made you feel 2 inches tall? It was bad. So, but the good thing is, we went out and we went to Walmart and we picked up a few things. Daniela needed a notebook because she started taking notes in a class, and they needed the notebook today. So we picked that up, and I looked at Daniela and I said, you know what, before I take you back to school, I need to go to my happy place. So guess where I went? Can you guess? Put it in the comments below if you guessed. But yes, I went to the Dollar Tree really quick. I know I'm crazy, but yeah. I love it. It totally relaxed me and totally did the job. That, and I drank a Diet Dr. Pepper, and I felt much better. Took her back to school, came home, and now I'm diamond painting. So, as for going to visit my sister, I'm very excited. We are going to look at Halloween costumes, which I'm very excited about because I can go in and try on those one size fits most. And in my mind, I think that I want to be either a steampunk girl, a Day of the Dead girl, or a fairy. So, and there was a gypsy costume I saw online that I liked. So, I don't know. We'll see what my sister's needs to get one too. So I'm sure I may do a video of us going to the Halloween store because that is so fun. Maybe I'll do that. Do you all want to see that? Let me know. Even if you don't, I may do it anyway. It'll just make me feel better if you say you want to see it. But yeah, and so there's also Mum Fest where she lives. And the cool thing I was thinking the other day was the Enablers Outpost owners, Elizabeth Inslee and Edward, they are near that area. We've spoke about Mum Fest and New Bern before. And I was like, you know, I'd pee my pants if I'd walk around and be like, there's Elizabeth and Edward. Of course, you know, seeing them online on YouTube, would I recognize them in real life? I don't know. If I would hear Edward speak, I probably would. I love listening to him. He is my favorite. I could listen to him all day. My kids still remember listening when I would diamond paint next to them doing their remote learning, and they would listen to Elizabeth and Edward's clogs and would get the biggest kick out of him talking. We still can't go past that little fan section in the Dollar Tree without thinking of him when he would whip out his little fan. I can't remember what he said when he did, but it was so funny. But yeah, I know they have attended Mum Fest before, but if they would be there, I just think that was the coolest thing. Definitely. I need to hitch a ride and pop up in the back seat on one of their clogs. That's my dream. Just go right along with them buying Maui's dog food. Oh my goodness. I love these blue ABs. Aren't those gorgeous? Especially on that pink tray. Pink and turquoise look so pretty. I hope I haven't snuffed my nose too much. If so, I apologize. Look at all this. Look at all these F's. All this brown. Brown is my least favorite color to work with. What about you all? And I love doing all the colors. I do all the colors, and then I go back and add the black for two reasons. One, the number one reason is because black drills, this canvas came from like the last year's Black Friday. So it was during that time when the black drills were crap. And there's so much junk in it, and they're all different sizes at times. So it's easier to put them in last. But also, I just like the way it looks. It just looks so cool to get all the color and then pop in that black. So fun. All right, I'm going to peek and see how long I've been talking 32 minutes. Oh my goodness. That was probably a way too long dental story. Definitely. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me ramble about Orthodontist. I actually just needed to get that out and let it go because I didn't want it to steal my joy. So, hopefully we're out of there as soon as possible. So, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you get to do a little diamond painting. Bye.